All right, so I am continuing again and trying to get through basically the next part of this read, and the part that we're on is sort of the little like extension of what happens if, when, or even maybe now I'm seeing possibly leading up to Divine Masculine moving towards his Empress and his twin flame. A much drawn out and long awaited connection and union. I feel like something with it is that, I don't know if that's a grasshopper. Looks like a grasshopper rather than a mantis. It's definitely, as you can see, a lot of earth energy in it with plant and bug life. But that's kind of the part I'm on. And I don't know if I'll post that last reading. It's a little crazy. We'll see. Just to fill in the gaps, otherwise there will be gaps. But basically, as I was reading, it's the Three of Wands, the Three of Swords, and the heartbreak in the reverse. So I feel like what has happened, and actually if he were to go towards his twin flame, it might cause further heartbreak to others. Other people being disappointed, karmics being disappointed, being lovers or family members or whatever, having to break some hearts to go towards the one that he wants to be with. And I feel like there's sort of secrets right now with the Tower in the reverse being kept as to what his plans are and his intentions are. Secrets being kept from all parties, as he's a very sort of like, in a way, closed off person that keeps his plans to himself. He's smart to do that. Some of us have a harder time doing that. We were given too much truth serum at an early age, and it had the opposite effect. I don't know. And so basically, but we've got the strength in the reverse. So that can basically mean that his ability to hold out on being able to keep things covered up and being able to avoid the heartbreak and being able to keep things secret is actually expiring. And it's something that's no longer. See, it was so weird because I really thought that that card was like justice or judgment. I mean, justice usually has scales, so I should know better because I know what the justice card looks like in this deck. But it also sort of looked like judgment in a sense that there's like this like not decapitated the mouth head that she's holding on to. So I don't really know like what they were thinking and the expanded sense of that card concerning this deck and the creators of it. But with it being in the reverse, the meanings were dangerous, confrontation, cruelty, uneven struggles, and sacrifice. And so definitely I know that sacrifice is going to have to be made, but I feel like it's something that's going to pay off in the end. There's definitely like a lot of cruel behavior going on with this whole thing coming out. There's definitely been some dangerous confrontation come out of it where this involves legal matters, but it may just be what's necessary to end out these cycles of heartbreak in his life and to be able to actually like sever these contracts in place that have kept him from going towards his destiny. And you know, there's been threats of things being exposed and secrets being exposed, used as like blackmail to prevent him from going forward. So that could be another thing about the Tower being in the reverse. But, and also, like, you know, like I said, there were secrets, like there was that blackmail, but if that has already hit the fan, if it's already kind of leaked, if that's leaked, that info, that intel, if that intel has leaked, then that is yet another thing that would free him up. So as humiliating as it is, and that's really unfortunate, it all is stuff that may very well be necessary for the Divine Masculine to go towards his twin flame, the Priestess, finally. And seeing things like with the priestess energy from a higher and more elevated point of view, and that everything is going to be okay, and all that has been lost is actually going to be regained. I'm going to try to brush through this because I've got to actually go do something as my car is running and it's not starting these days. It's very odd. It's kind of a very sudden thing that all of a sudden I'm having issues with my car starting, as I have actually kind of worked on a plan to get out, to get away, to go find my own stardom on my own, I guess. Anyway, so Ace of Gardens, a new start in finances, new growth, new beginnings. Lots of butterflies in that. It's absolutely gorgeous. And a new start in money. And then also it's actually like coupled with a Seven of Pentacles, which I do feel like has to do with seeing money from a different point of view and using it in a more practical way, not so much as being used for appearances and not used in a flashy way, but used in a more sensible and appropriate way. And then we have the Four of Swords in the reverse, which this almost looks like the Woodsman Knight. So I've got, like, even though this is a Four of Swords card, like, just the fact that this is like, it looks like sections of a tree trunk, it kind of like makes me think of earth energy as well, but it definitely does look like a knight's burial there. So like woodsman, I don't know, there's sort of like sinister looking knights Templar tradition. It's in the reverse, you know. So, and there's that rose elevated from his heart. So is he doing it for love? Is he making sacrifices for love? There's actually like a burnt matchstick too, but I don't see anything on fire, so it was like somebody struck the match, but we don't see any fire. We don't see a Viking burial going on. It's not in progress, although a match has already been struck. Maybe like this sort of forward movement is what saves disaster from happening. I don't know. So the Ace of Gardens and the Jeopardize. And I actually went through all of these in the first video when I sort of laid out this whole spread that's taking forever to complete and get out. An impending windfall or turn for the better. A gift, inheritance, or sponsorship may be received. Good news or recognition and improvements in health. And I do feel like divine recompense is in order, and that this move is something that is going to bring about some of that. And I feel like it's another reason that it's so fought against, because money is just so important to people, you know. And so it's something that's caused a lot of blockages and hurdles and obstructions that have gotten in the way of, you know, this windfall and turn for the better. So perhaps an inheritance is in order for divine masculine and or divine feminine, something that like that they tried to take from them out of a place of greed. And a sponsorship, I like the word sponsorship being used in here, because I feel like this sponsorship, whether it's given to the divine feminine on behalf of the divine masculine, or if it's given towards their union, or if it's given to her, something that was withheld from her being restored. Either way, I feel like in this specific union I'm talking about, that the sponsorship carries out to other parties, because the money is to be used to create a better tomorrow and to provide opportunities for others that would even the playing field a little bit more, and allow opportunities for more people to actually be able to start things on their own. And anyways, that's my heart personally. But so good news are recognition and improvements in health. And I absolutely do know that's true, that when he does step into his authenticity, when he does step into his authenticity, and he gets away from the things that have been draining him, same for divine feminine, when they both make a break for it, it is absolutely going to result in better health for the both of them. Four of Swords in the Surrealist is anthropomorphic bread, a spontaneous and temporary surrender to a self-cannibalistic process of loving, healing, and reprieve. However, unfortunately, we're seeing that in the reverse, so I hate to think that the reprieve is being reversed. But yeah, so maybe the new beginning basically is going to put these cards together. Maybe the new beginning is actually going to, again, break a lot of hearts and be very painful. Be a very painful process. Seven of Pentacles. I'm sure like other people will come up with other meanings as they're listening to this, and just feel free to comment those. I do the same thing often when I'm hearing other readings. I know exactly what they're talking about in my case anyways. But the Seven of Pentacles does mean new business, trips, encounters with alluring people, elegance, and class. So that's actually a good thing. And so it could forecast actually a really nice trip being given to some that need it. This is the particular meaning of the Four of Swords in here is really kind of throwing me off a little bit. So I just want to look at that again. Because if we do, like, you know how when a card has a somewhat, like, in quotes, negative meaning, although I feel like it's all interpreted either way, you know, what's negative could actually end up being positive. It depends on the way you're looking at something. It could mean actually like a permanent surrender to a process of loving, healing, a final surrender, a death too, death to being chopped all to pieces, you know. Elevation, like Pinocchio was made of wood and then he became a real boy, something like that. I don't know, you know what I mean? Like an end to being on the chopping block, maybe. Just looking at the imagery of it. A new start where that's like a thing of the past and not really the way things go anymore, and it's a whole different way of living, of being valued, of being perceived, of being respected and honored, of being enjoyed, an authentic sort of a thing. All right, Stranger of Winds, which is the Knight of Swords. And a lot of people don't really like the Knight of Swords so much. And this is a very, very weird sort of photo. She likes to use these bats a lot. I feel like it's has to do with where this deck was made, but there's like a snake around it. I'm thinking that the Stranger actually does stand for knights in these decks, or would be the same. So again, that's why I'm going through the booklet on these, because it is a little bit of a different deck. It's a little more elemental, as you see. So, an intense, charismatic, or perhaps even overbearing person, no tolerance for questioning authority, analytical and a logical approach to matters. Well, that seems to kind of go in with the, like, King of Swords a bit, you know? And, you know, I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. And I feel like it's misunderstood quite often. But that maybe that's the whole point of things, is that in this sense and in this connection, it's actually, like, appreciated and tolerated a little more. The no tolerance is tolerated a little more. Which we're in these sort of different times, so maybe in particular cases that's actually what's absolutely necessary. But it is an analytical approach to matters. And so, you know, whereas like this lover connection, and it could have to do with other lover connections in the past being, you know, more like in a place of constriction or like expectation and basically authority warranting, you know, lover connections of the past. And this Lover's card has actually like different layers as well. So it could be like have to do with, you know, like lover connections building on lover connections, and other lover connections being made, as a result of other lover connections being betrayed or broken down, or it does come in layers as we like learn lessons from those that we're with always. And then the Four of Cups, and this also could be something like in the process of heading towards the divine feminine, kind of like going through these other experiences, that are in question, and maybe perhaps finding out that it's not really like checking them off the list, like eliminating all other options. I don't know. But the Lover's card in this Surrealist Tarot is the Enigma of Desire. And again, the word cannibalistic is used in it. The sacred cannibalistic union of contracts. Decision taken solely with one's heart. So that's beautiful. A decision taken solely with one's heart. So that actually makes me think of that actually being the head and the heart being joined. Logic being joined to what the heart is telling one to do, and them actually lining up and matching up. Because oftentimes it's like one thing or the other. Love is not made of mysteries. We are the very evidence of this. And so basically, like, maybe it's not a mystery anymore. And, there were things that caused confusion, but perhaps like they have actually like been taken out of the way now, and to where that it would have seemed very erratic and a crazy decision before. Now actually in retrospect it may seem like a reasonable and understood decision, and actually makes sense at this point in time. And with all of the facts out, with all the facts laid out on the table, it actually, other people are seeing it also. And I feel like that is a sign of twin flames, is that other people actually like look at the connection and they're like, wow, those two people really belong together. So maybe possibly that has something to do with it. And maybe it's friends that are involved in, like, I don't know, like outdoor activities, climbing, mountain activities, sports, biking. I don't know, those could be some of the friends that actually are encouraging a step forward in the right direction. Because that does come up in these influence cards. But I feel like in this set of cards, this is more of the move and the decision being made on the part of the divine masculine to do what he feels right is inside. And so the four chalices in the upright is friendships, harmony within the family. So I feel like that he is making this move. Even if this isn't necessarily a knight card and doesn't have a horse, it is a card of movement. So he's making this move, and he's doing it, with his mind, with his heart, and with like forward physical movement and speaking and communication. And all of this comes together for the sake of harmony, of having harmony within, having a harmonious family. And for some of us, like, we feel like that's maybe not going to be a reality with those that we've known to be our family. And so it's something that we're going to have to create. And I feel like that is more and more of a reality, even as the times change, even more so, And so then we've got Nine of Gardens and Five of Cups with, again, I've got the Hermit in the reverse. So again, is he refusing to go in did he refuse to go in and see the cups? Like, I feel like we're past that part. And in this part of the reading, he actually went within, and now he's ready to go without, with knowing that he's made a certain decision, feeling like it's the right decision to make. And, I'm being hopeful here. So using what's left of the Five of Cups and deciding to cut his losses and take what he has left, and, go towards his very independent Queen of Pentacles, Nine of Gardens, somebody that's self-sufficient on her own. So when the two are self-sufficient on their own and they complete each other, and they're not draining from each other, but rather they're building each other up, then actually it ends up equaling bliss. BLISS, bliss. So I feel like that is what happens. And I don't know if I showed these. This is kind of like, probably will be a 2-part video, with the first part being yet another shit show video. But indeed, when Divine Masculine goes towards the Priestess, his true twin flame, the result is not having to hide, not feeling alone, starting over with what is available, with what they have, and producing a garden. And it's not a 10 of Cups, but maybe it will end up being a 10 of Cups. Or I'm sorry, it's not a 10 of Pentacles yet, but I feel like after it happens, when it happens, that it will be, you know. So I guess I wanted to read, I need to read my dog's whining again. This has like been impossible, but I really want to get this done. And so I've blown through this a little bit faster than I have through other sections of it, unfortunately. Maybe I'll revisit it after I do the influences. But 9 of Gardens, there's so many distractions right now. I don't know what's up with that, so just apologies for those distractions. Like, just bear with me. This is not the most ideal video. It is what it is. Realization and recognition of success. An end to hardship and suffering. Oh, I'm glad I read this out of the book, because I almost didn't. An end to hardship or suffering. I like that it's got a pink flamingo. So again, we got paradise and bliss. An end to hardship or suffering. Luxury and refinement. Gracious living with appreciation for the arts and finer things. And I believe that they both do. We also have Lily the Valley, purity. We've got a butterfly. She has emerged in her purpose. 5 of Cups in the reverse in the Surrealist is Spectre of the Libido, subliminal aggressiveness that comes from the fear of solitude, needless appropriation of someone else's ideas. And that's reverse. So basically, like what the credit for certain ideas, designs, etc., return to the original owner. They are giving credit. They are given the, the opportunity to work alongside with the other person to actually manifest in a team setting as it was originally intended. I don't know, maybe. Like, I'm reading that from this without trying to read into it too much. It says right here, needless appropriation of someone else's ideas, and that is reversed right now. So, yeah, credit given to where it's due, and the ability for the inventor to actually take credit in their project. Subliminal aggressiveness that comes from the fear of solitude. So that is taken away. The solitude is no longer feared. They know that they're with their forever person and that they're going to be comfortable and find home in that. So the aggressiveness is not subliminal. It's actually a very comfortable relationship where communication is valued and appreciated and isn't painful and comes naturally and is easy. And that solves a lot of problems. It's better than holding a lot of stuff inside and not speaking your piece and then becoming bitter and acting out in other ways, passive aggressive sort of stuff, junk, and then the Hermit in the reverse in this deck is silence, isolation, hidden enemies, and poverty. So solitude, meditation, reserve, and wisdom is the upright. So I don't know how I feel about these particular definitions, because I feel like the Hermit, it's actually like, and I've seen that quite a lot, where the Hermit is reversed and people are like, that's even worse than the Hermit in the upright. And it's Virgo energy. And like, having had the Hierophant in the reverse earlier in this read, in kind of the earlier phase of things, I feel like that was like more like talking about the solitude becoming unhealthy, and things might be like that just right now, but I feel like with the 9 of Gardens being there and the 5 of Cups being the reverse with that meaning, that actually this Hermit is pulled out of that isolation and pulled out of solitude and brought back to a place of trust, a foundation of trust being rebuilt is what I'm getting out of this. and not having to be silent, not having to be in solitude, but actually having the support to speak, and not feeling like, everyone's an enemy, like actually feeling supported, and actually like, even though it may start out very meager and very humble as far as finances go, it's something that I feel like that it manifests material possessions from, so I kind of just want to shuffle and do, let's see what we get for just one more to end this set out. I gotta get going, I really do. The Hangman in reverse just flipped out automatically. And the Fool. Just do one more. There's so many. I know, Fool's one of those cards. It can be either way, one way or the other, you know what I mean? Oh my gosh. Again, cycle's not being completed. Or it could just basically mean, like, in the literal sense, death actually being reversed. Healing actually coming. I've got Justice. And I got the World. So, I know, we'll see, huh? We'll see, right? I'm going to shuffle this one. The Sun, cut to the Sun. So that would be moving towards the Sun, and that would actually mean also the manipulation coming to an end. I mean, you could take it as like alchemy, not alchemizing, but... And then here we have it. The Emperor at the bottom of the deck. To going towards the Sun. Moving past all the effery. Illuminating things. That egg gets fried. She's really good at frying an egg. She can really fry an egg, huh? The Emperor and the Ace of Cups and the High Priestess. Looky there. And then I'm again seeing the Knight of Pentacles. So, yeah. New chance in love with the High Priestess. Turns him into the Emperor. As he takes a chance to move forward. Move past and leave the manipulation behind. All things are illuminated and unfortunately have to be. But he does it. He goes for it. And the final outcome is justice and completion. That's what I've kind of been getting all along concerning this storyline, you know. So that's enough to do it right there. But the side bonus is actually true love that comes with it. So anyways, let's do a couple more glimpses. Let's it's to the Empress. It's the Priestess. Choose a Priestess. High Priestess. Page of Cups, but it kind of flew out sideways, so I don't really know what to think of it. Yeah, I don't know. I gotta go. I feel like I'm like really not in the groove of this anymore. All right. Time for a change, Emperor. Go towards your High Priestess and get your Ten of Cups. Saying, you can do it. All right. With that, I'm done. I'm out.